Hi, everybody. Welcome to class. My name is Mark, and I'll be working with you in the fall 2015 semester in English 111. This is a large class. I think the last time I checked, there are 24 of us, which is a big number for an online class, but I'm sure everyone is excited to get the semester started and get working in the course. This is the first of many videos that you will see from me. I tend to record a video every week, so you have an expectation from me of what the assignments are, what you'll be doing, and it also gives me the chance to explain things as we move through the course. Make sure you watch these videos when they become available. Of course, they're in YouTube, so you can watch them as many times as you like. But during the course of the semester, it is very likely that I will make slight changes in what is due. I may add or remove something, and I always explain that in the video. I don't tend to write a lot of announcements. I'd rather have you listen to what I'm saying. So please watch the videos. They're there for a reason. In the first week, we are going to go through course orientation and look at the first couple of simple assignments that you'll be doing. So we're going to jump into the Start Here folder, and I'll point out a couple things to you that I think are important. First of all, we have the course syllabus, and I strongly recommend that you print this. When you print it, you can make notes in the margins, you can reorder the pages, whatever works for you. And there's also a quiz over the syllabus, so you might as well print it out and have it handy when you take the quiz. It's not that the quiz is difficult, but if you want to check something, you can refer back to it. All right, one of the first things I want to point out is my phone number. My preferred method of communication with you during the course of the semester is by text message. Text me anytime, and I'll answer you back very quickly. I am teaching more than one course this semester, so the one thing I do ask, because I don't know your phone number yet, whenever you send me a text, make sure you tell me what class you're in and your name so I don't confuse you with another student. If you'd like to call me, you can do that as well. I have a business number for the company I work for. I teach part-time for Ivy Tech and I work full-time for MetLife Insurance. This is my office number, and because it's a free call, you're welcome to use it. Here's my Ivy Tech email address, mstenger1@ivytech.edu. And I just realized I made a mistake. My Blackboard ID is not mstenger1@ivytech, it's simply mstenger1. I'll have to fix that. And also, here is my Twitter handle. I use Twitter quite a bit. I do not tweet about things that are going on in class necessarily, but if you follow me there, if you're a Twitter user, you can get to know me a little better. And you could also send me a direct message through Twitter if you'd like. If you have issues with online learning, or if you're a disability student, here are your contact folks, Alyssa Lay and Ann Stenger. Boy, that looks familiar. I'm not going to go through the entire syllabus because I know you're going to read it, especially because there's a quiz involved. So I trust that you'll read this later. A couple more things I want to point out. You do not need a physical textbook. The textbook is contained within Blackboard, and I'll show you just a minute where you can locate that. You can get a print book if you'd like, but I really don't think it's necessary. And because the book is online, it's one less thing to keep track of. Of course, you will never come to class other than online because this is not a face-to-face class. The due dates and the deadlines are contained within the course calendar, and I'll show you that in just a minute. If you need to leave the course for any reason, I understand things come up. Here is the last date you can withdraw from the course. And I also want to point out, and this is highlighted in yellow for a reason, this course uses MLA style only. There are two styles for writing academic work in higher education, MLA and APA. I think I have removed all the references to APA in the course. There may still be one or two that I have overlooked, but all of the assignments, specifically the papers that we will be writing, we will use MLA style. If you're not familiar with MLA style, that's okay. That's part of this course is we're going to teach it to you. If you know it already, good for you. There are no tests in this class. There are only essays to write, and there are 4 of them. You will occasionally have a short quiz like the Blackboard, or excuse me, like the syllabus quiz that you'll be taking this week. But for the most part, you're simply going to be writing in this course. Here are the assignments and grading. Notice, as I said, 1, 2, 3, 4 writing projects, an annotated bibliography, a working outline, and a timed reflection. That one is completed at the very end of the course. And here are the lists of other assignments, including discussion boards, drafts, peer responses, grammar exercises, Blackboard and syllabus exercise, etc., etc. I won't go through the full list. I know you'll do that later. And I think that's all I need to cover in the syllabus. Let's take a look at the course calendar. And again, that's under Start here. And just like the syllabus, I won't go through this entire thing because I know you're going to. I do want to point out just 1 or 2 things on the calendar. You can find it in 2 places. It's listed here as a file. And there's also one in Blackboard that is not a file, but it's simply listed there. And here it is. Each class session, all 16 of them, starts on Monday. So the first class session begins on August the 24th, and your assignments are due the following Sunday night. And that is the model we will follow throughout the course. Sunday night at 11:55 p.m. So 5 minutes before midnight is when everything will be due. And if you look here on the calendar, you can see week by week what it is you're going to be covering. Print that out too. Now, before we get into the first class session, let's take a look at one more folder, and that is the Resources tab over here on the left. And I want to show you what's in there. You're going to be referring back to this a lot. Here is your textbook. I'm not going to open it right now. I know you will later, but when you need to read a chapter, this is where you find it. Also, you will be looking at the core readings a lot in this class. And if I open the core readings, you will see the following. There are several that are not available. I'll have to correct that. I didn't realize I'd done that. But let's go ahead and open one of them. I'll make the other ones available after I finish this video. These are all articles and in some cases videos related to the topic of experiencing education. And when you're asked to write about one of these, I recommend open all of them in whatever particular folder interests you, scan through them. You don't have to read them all in detail. Just find one you like. When you have found the one you like, then you can read it in greater detail. This one is by an author named Sherman Alexie, who happens to be one of my favorites, called Indian Education. And as you notice up here, it's only 6 pages long. These are not too hateful. Here's one of them that is a video, 19 minutes and 25 seconds long. Most of the ones that are print articles you could probably read in less time than watching the video, but it's your choice. I'm going to go back to the resources folder and take a look at a couple of other things that are in here. You may not need these right now, but I want you to know what they are and where they are. And we'll look at the writing projects. As I mentioned, there are only 4, and the file for each of them is here. And I'm just going to open the first one and talk about a couple of things that are listed here. In each writing project, there are a number of steps to complete the project. Notice it asks you on the first part of the project, writing your draft, you only do steps 1 through 6. And when you get to step 6, stop. We will finish the remainder of the steps, 7 through 10, the following week. And this is the same schedule for each of the writing assignments. You're only doing the first 6. We'll talk a little more about that when we get closer to the first essay. Not the first writing project. The first writing project's due this week, but you won't need that just yet. And I'll explain why in a minute. As I mentioned during the review of the syllabus, we are only using MLA for formatting and citations. There are some great resources listed in this folder. There are also resources listed regarding plagiarism, library resources, and grammar. We'll be using each of these as the semester goes by. And when we get a little closer to our writing projects, there are already some sample students' papers in here. I may add a couple myself. That's it for resources. Let's go straight into class sessions and see what we'll be doing for the first week. And the first session is called Course Orientation. That's the purpose of this video. This is your orientation. And it always lists the learning activities and the assignments and the assessment. So we've already talked about the syllabus. I haven't opened the Blackboard Student User Guide. You may not need it. If you've taken online classes before, you probably know all this. There's a component of information on effective emails and messages. If you've taken an online class before, you may not need this one either. You're being required to read 2 chapters, Why We Write, and 10 core concepts for effective writing. And then there is a PowerPoint. What does your writing process look like? The PowerPoint will be the basis for your first writing project. Not an academic essay, just a simple writing project. It's an icebreaker. Here's what you're being required to do. Session 1, Introductions and Discussion Board. Notice it's not graded, but go ahead and say a few words about yourself, where you live, what you're studying, how long you've been a student at Ivy Tech, if this is your first semester online, your last semester online, anything else you want to tell us about yourself. These are pretty entertaining to read. There's the Blackboard and syllabus exercise. It's a short quiz. Notice it's only worth 10 points. Print the syllabus before you take this. Refer to it while you're taking it. You'll get a perfect score. The test run assignment is something that you will send to me. It just shows me that you know how to add files and send them to me within the course. And here's your first writing project. Which picture is your writing process like? That is a discussion board. I'll show you where that is. Before we move forward, I want to point out one thing, tutor.com. This is a free service where you can send them a draft of your writing project. They'll review it for you, give you feedback, help you proofread it. It's absolutely free. If you're someone that doesn't have a lot of confidence in your writing, use tutor.com. If you're someone who thinks you're already a good writer but you just want to get a little better, use tutor.com. Why not? It's free. So we'll take a look at the Learning Activities folder. There's the Blackboard Student User Guide. I won't open that. Guidelines for effective emails and messages. There's your textbook again. Remember, it's also under the Resources tab. Here are the 2 chapters you have to read. And here is the PowerPoint. Let's go ahead and open this up. Oh, excuse me, this is not the PowerPoint. These are the guidelines for the first writing project. I want to get straight into the PowerPoint itself. And no, in case you're wondering, I didn't pick these images. Some of them are pretty abstract. The point of this is to find an image that represents what your writing process looks or feels like to you. There's no right or wrong answer, and you need to pick one of these images. Once you get the PowerPoint up, here's a little hint. If you simply hit the F5 key, that will bring this full screen, and then by using your spacebar, you can advance through the images, and by using your backspace key, you can go backwards. This one kind of reminds me of the stock exchange. This one hypnotizes me. That one's either a wave or Tony the Tiger, not sure. There's the food pyramid, volcano. I don't know what to say about that one. 4th of July is what this one reminds me of, and so on and so on. For this writing project, you're going to pick one of these images that you think represents what your writing process is like now. Organized, a chaos, it's up to you. Again, there are no right or wrong answers. All right, let's go back one screen. and we'll take a look at the assignments and assessments. Again, in each class session, there's always learning activities and then assignments and assessments. So you're being asked to begin with the introduction discussion board. Let's take a look what that is. It's over here under discussions. You're welcome to include a picture if you'd like. No one's posted yet because this course hasn't officially opened, but when you're ready, click on this link, create a thread. You do need to give your discussion board a title, and then simply write about it. Once someone has posted, if you find it interesting and you want to respond, you simply click on the title of theirs. It'll open it up in a new window, and you can type your reply. We're going to go back to class sessions. Course orientation, week 1. And to the assignments and the assessments. So, introductions discussion board, we've talked about that. Blackboard syllabus exercise. Again, it's a short quiz. Once you're ready to take it and you've got that syllabus printed out and sitting right next to you, simply click on begin. These are multiple choice, not very hard. Test run assignment. This is a message you're going to send to me and answer a few simple questions. And you need to save this as a file. Address what kind of software you're using. Test run. I do not use course messages. I use email, but I'd rather you text me. And here's the rubric for that. Read through this entire thing, print it off if you can, and follow the instructions. It's pretty simple. And then last, your second discussion, aside from introductions, we can go to it here, is your response to the PowerPoint. Which picture is your writing process like? And again, just like with introductions, you'll click on Create Thread, write about the image that best represents you, and you'll be finished. We want everyone to put in a post for this first week. We'll do responses in week 2. And notice it says your original post should be about 200 words. How long is that? It's a couple of paragraphs. And I believe that is it for the first session. We're trying to ease ourselves into the course. I simply want to click on this folder and make sure I've discussed everything. I haven't forgotten anything. And if you'd like, once you've finished week 1, you can look at the summary and the overview of next session. You don't have to. It's there if you want. Excuse me. And that's it for week 1. It's been my experience in teaching this course that the students that communicate with me the most absolutely do the best. And there's a lot of ways you can reach out to me. Again, text me anytime, 812-498-4200. If you want to call me, it's 800-416-1747. If you want to send me an email, it's mstenger and the number 1 at ivytech.edu. Until next week, welcome to class, everybody. Reach out to me when you need me. Let's get started.